Features of positive behaviour for learning as a whole school approach to mental health and well-being in my PEC school included a whole school approach through PBL implementation. Features of the PBL model approach include learning culture supported by positive, safe and supportiveness, and outcomes that achieve social, emotional, behavioural and academic improvement. My PEC school's specific PBL implementation methods included 3 goals or rules. They were care for this place, care for yourself, care for each other. This connects to fostering the learning culture of PBL. PBL connects to WSA by connecting relevant components of each other, which will be explored later in this video. The WSA policy program is implemented to help the mental health and well-being of students flourish. The model that I will be appraising that addresses instruction and implementation of a WSA tailoring student mental health and well-being is the applied model of positive education, Hua et al. 2017. At the centre of the model is the goal for students to flourish. The next layer that supports them to flourish is character and strength. Character and strength is supported by the next layer that includes positive relationships, positive emotions, positive health, positive engagement, positive accomplishment, and positive purpose. The strengths of this model is that 1. It has a logical, cyclical, and layered approach. Positivity is embedded throughout it, and interpretation can vary. A weakness of this model can be interpretation variability. A school must come to the same understanding and interpretation. Schools can vary and tailor the interpretation to meet their school's specific needs. Its connectedness to other relevant WSA models are the PBL model, the Wellbeing Framework for Schools, and the World Health Organization model. The PBL model achieves a learning culture supported by positivity, safety, and supportiveness. This results in the achieving of outcomes being social, emotional, behavioural, and academic. The Wellbeing Framework for Schools aims for students to connect, succeed, and thrive. They connect through learning and relationships to achieve belonging. They succeed by incorporating respect, value, encouragement, support, and empowerment. They thrive through growth and flourishment to give them the ability to prosper. PBL learning culture features can be integrated to support each dimension of the positive layer of the WSA model. The PBL outcomes supports character and strength building of the WSA model by improving social, emotional, behavioural and academic abilities of students, equipping them to better regulate their mental health and well-being, the core goal and function of the WSA. Hua et al. 2017 determined that the WSA must practice collaborative and collective action across school systems. My PEC school included student voices in the planning and implementation, attributing to the success of PBL according to Young 2013. A large list of rules and goals was made at a whole school assembly. Goals were matched or created into rules. Similar rules were combined, shrinking the list. Rules were assigned to 3 categories: place, self, others. There were 3 variations of these categories to address each goal. These were proposed by teachers. Students voted to select a goal for each rule category, resulting in 3 official goals or rules: care for this place, care for yourself, care for each other. The buddy bench was implemented for socially struggling students to seek interaction. It is optional, students self-determine, and positively socially nurturing, as recommended by Young et al. 2013. Care Bears were implemented as student PBL monitors and assisters. Senior students can elect themselves for this role during lunch or recess. Their job is to encourage demonstration of PBL goals, praise observation of PBL goals, and to approach and support students exhibiting antisocial behaviour, such as lonely students, angry students, upset students, students who are bullying victims. This role is done in partnership with the teachers for appropriate support solutions. A salutogenic, strengths-based approach to HPE education provides a theory to guide HPE curriculum change in the direction of improvement for HPE-related skills and outcomes to be developed by focusing on student strengths and developing new strengths. When compared to the deficit-based approach, the strength-based approach is more preferable. Deficit models emphasize diseases and poor health patterns, their prevalence, and how to treat and avoid them. The new and effective strength-based approach is based on salutogenic health theory. The aspect of salutogenesis focuses on factors that support health and well-being, and in turn supports the WSA goals of catering to students' mental health and well-being. The salutogenic strength-based approach to HPE education should be implemented to complement the application and integration of the WSA, as it helps to remove anxiety-generating facts or approaches to information to be considerate of students' mental health and well-being, which supports the WSA. Pedagogical tools teachers can implement into their teaching practices to reflect a strengths-based approach are tools that adapt a salutogenic approach. One example of these tools is to educate students on the benefits of moderate sugar consumption rather than the risks of sugar overconsumption. The inclusion of student voice results in a deeper understandings. Student voice can be encouraged by enhancing engagement with hands-on tasks. My PEC school identified healthy and unhealthy drinking choices. They then encouraged the healthy choices and its benefits. They did not actively discourage the unhealthy choices or warn of risks. This reflects salutogenesis. When it came to diet and food group education, they informed and encouraged healthy eating. This reflects salutogenic approaches. However, they implemented the deficit approach by warning about the risks of poor diet choices. My PEC school could improve their approach to HPE diet education by making their pedagogical practice wholly salutogenic. This will support a strengths-based focus backed by their WSA policy of PBL rules, care for yourself. This discussion was informed by the academic research of McCaig, Quenisted, and McDonald 2013. It is my role as a teacher when it comes to HPE education to ensure my pedagogy and practice reflects a salutogenic strengths-based approach to identify effective health discourses in the school, as recommended by Brolin et al. 2018. By doing so, I can encourage and foster improvement in students' mental health and well-being through the WSA policy of PBL and avoid inflicting anxiety-inducing approaches such as the deficit approach. In order to support student well-being, I as a teacher must understand the functions and components of the WSA and its policy approach of PBL. I must attempt to implement them in my practice, reflect on my implementation, make adjustments for improvement, and allow for effective adjustments to further my understanding of the WSA and of the PBL policy. This will allow me to effectively engage in the teaching and learning cycle of a teacher.